Now, the Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands has survived a no-confidence vote in Parliament. It follows last week's riots when crowds burned down dozens of buildings and looted shops in the capital, Honiara. At least 3 people were killed in the unrest, sparked by long-simmering regional rivalries, economic problems and accusations of China's influence over the government. Troops from Australia, New Zealand and other neighbouring nations have been deployed. The Prime Minister defended his government's actions shortly before the vote.
I did not allow myself to succumb to the dictates of hooligans and lawlessness. I want to thank the participating countries, intervention forces who are on the ground, Mr. Speaker, to help return normalcy in our country. On behalf of the people and government, I express our sincere thanks.
Sarah Clark is covering the story for us from Brisbane in Australia. So he survived the vote. How politically secure is he now?
Well, look, he was almost always going to survive this particular vote of no confidence simply because his party has the majority. But when it came down to the actual numbers, 15 MPs backed the motion of no confidence and 32 rejected it and 2 abstained. But he survived votes of no confidence in the past, but he has actually been defeated twice. But the difference between those when he was defeated and now is simply because his party has the majority. But it was a lengthy and often heated debate in the Parliament in Honiara on Monday. The opposition leader, Matthew Whale, he led this particular campaign to de-seat the Prime Minister. His key accusation was that the provinces have lost trust in the Prime Minister, and his erratic, poor and mercenary decision-making made it difficult for a country that was already struggling. The member for Manasseh, which is the province, the most populous province, he also made some key accusations and is also driving this campaign to force the Prime Minister to stand down. He said that the Solomon Islands is paralysed and can't afford another round of instability. But the Prime Minister, he made an emotional, often fiery defence, calling some of his critics thugs and hooligans. But as I mentioned, he survived yet another motion of no confidence and will continue, his government will continue leading the country.
What does this mean for concern about continued street unrest, though?
Well, certainly there was some concern that on Monday, with this vote of no confidence being debated in Parliament, that there could be some unrest in the aftermath, no matter which way it went, that we had businesses were shut down or closed early. We had a huge and heavy police presence across Honiara. And also, as you mentioned earlier, we've got the peacekeepers who've been in force over the last couple of weeks since those 4 days of civil unrest where we saw had 3 people die. As a result, those peacekeepers are there. But these are long-running grievances between the state I mentioned, the province, the Malayan province and the central government, accusations of neglect, that infrastructure had not been or had been abandoned and economic funds had been frozen. And these particular accusations are not going to go away. And there's also the criticism of the Solomon Islands ditching its partnership with Taiwan in favour of China. But as I mentioned, the Prime Minister has denied all these allegations. He said the country is in a good position at the moment. He's also denied allegations of corruption. But we spoke to an analyst who looks at the Pacific, and he pretty much said that he doesn't believe, or there could be some unrest in the near future, but definitely down the track, these grievances will continue to be a problem in the Solomon Islands.
All right, thanks so much, Sarah Clark there.